Hello, everybody. How are you, everybody? Welcome. Today is Tuesday. So we're here. We're back. We want to be discussing today mental health related issues. Finalmente estamos de regreso. Es martes. Este es el mes de la salud mental. Estamos celebrando lo que es el mes de octubre, el mes de la salud mental. So this month of October month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and for that, where is my friend and co-worker Gracie? She's gonna be joining us to discuss about what is mental health. ¿Qué es mental health? So we are going to welcome Gracie. Gracie, come Gracie, and join us and see where we are this month in talking about very exciting issue. Please welcome the Gracie. It's okay. How are you?
Good. Hi, everybody. It's good to be back.
So October is Mental Health Awareness Month. So octubre es el mes de haciendo conciencia de la salud mental. Sabemos que cuando no tenemos buena salud mental, eso conlleva a que tengamos depresión o ansiedad. Y consecuentemente de la depresión y la ansiedad, de ahí tenemos adicciones, y que es lo que vamos a hablar el día de hoy. So we know that when you are having issues with your mental health, then the ramification to that is either you have depression or anxiety. So when you have one of the two, you want to compensate to feel better with something, and that means most likely that you will have an addiction, because you want to be compensating to feel good about yourself in a regular basis.
And I also want to add that some of the times we confuse it. We think that it's an addiction, but sometimes there are cravings, or sometimes it's dependency. And that's one of the things that we're also going to talk about, the differences of being actually addicted to something, be dependent on something, or actually be craving rather than having an addiction.
Ok, entonces también vamos a clarificar lo que viene siendo si tenemos una adicción o también tenemos una dependencia a algo que no es adicción, y también si tenemos un deseo constante de algo, pero no necesariamente sea una adicción. So let's see what addiction is. So let's be clear what addiction is. So what's addiction, Gracie?
So, according to the American Psychiatric Association, it states that an addiction is a complex or a condition which in the brain is a disease that is manifested by a compulsivity of substance that could be harmful and what could also bring consequences.
Okay, so it's a compulsivity of
It could be.
So that means it's a compulsion. That means that you are eager, you want to do it, and you have no control over that. In basic words, it's a state of feeling that when it happens, you cannot control it, and it controls you. And so it's something that you kind of want to stop, and you cannot stop, and you have to have that. So it sort of goes beyond craving, it goes beyond anything else. It overpowers you.
It overpowers you. Correct.
So sabemos muy bien que la adicción es algo que tú no puedes controlar. No es un deseo, no es una cosa de que tú quieras comer o tener. Simplemente es algo más poderoso de ti, y tienes que tener mucho ojo en ese aspecto y ser honesto contigo mismo y consciente de que algo está más fuerte que tú, que algo no puedes detener.
Te está controlando.
Que algo más te controla, y es donde tenemos que ver porque cuando tienes un deseo, perdón, o tienes otra cosa, tú controlas eso y ya pasó, en 5 minutos los deseos pasan, pero una adicción no te vas a sentir bien hasta que puedas encontrar X cosa a lo que estés adicto. So let's see the other.
The other one, it will be the dependency. So it talks about how it's more like a subordinate things, especially For example, when it talks about depending on a glass of wine or depending on that person always to be on your side. So for you to continue on with your life, you have to have that person there. You're depending upon that person, or you're depending upon that drink.
So depending is less than being addicted.
Yes.
But it's not to that level.
It's not to that level.
Okay. So dependiendo de algo, viene siendo una persona que uno depende emocionalmente, depende de algo, de alguien. Entonces esa es una codependencia, que estás dependiendo de algo. Es menos fuerte que la adicción, porque con esto puedes vivir sin ello, o es un tiempo prudente mientras procesas y tu vida puede seguir. Pero cuando tienes una adicción es algo más profundo que no puedes controlar y te causa daño. So what would be the third one? And then I want to really go into details of the types of addictions. I think it's important for it to know. So craving.
Craving. So it's a powerful desire or something. And you know, one example would be, like in my case, chocolate.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like craving chocolate.
Craving.
Yeah.
For me, it's coffee, or it could be anything for anybody else, or tortillas.
Exactly. Something like that. Yeah.
So craving, it's when you're craving something, and then usually you can have it, and then you'll be okay once you have it, or if you don't have it, you can still struggle a little bit with it, but it's just a craving. Es un deseo. Cuando tienes un deseo de algo, entonces no es una adicción, simplemente es un deseo que lo tienes, mucho como las mujeres embarazadas, ¿no? They have a lot of cravings.
They have a lot of cravings.
So pregnant women go through this a lot. So, but then addiction, now that we know what is not addiction, sabemos lo que ya no es adicción, no es un deseo ni es una codependencia, porque es algo menor. Pero la adicción, tenemos diferentes tipos de adicciones. Tenemos adicciones a las drogas, al alcohol, también podemos tener adicciones al sexo, al trabajar, a los tatuajes, a la comida. Prácticamente cualquier cosa puede volverse una adicción. So we know that addiction, it comes in many forms, and you can be experiencing addiction in many ways. So that could be anything. You could be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to coffee, you can be addicted to tea, you can be addicted to food, a person, anything, gambling. But one thing for sure is that addiction can harm you. When you're addicted to something that is very harmful, like drugs and alcohol, then becomes an issue, because then your life starts deteriorating. Then your life starts becoming less interesting. Your life starts then having a lot of consequences in your daily life, where you start losing your family, when you're going to start losing your job, when you don't have no money, and then you end up on the streets, or you end up in jail, because you cannot control the addiction. Sabemos muy bien que la adicción es muy peligrosa, y tenemos que ser honestos con nosotros mismos cuando confesarnos a nosotros mismos cuando tenemos una adicción, para buscar ayuda mental para cortar esa adicción, porque hay muchas maneras de ser adictos. Podemos estar adictos a cualquier cosa, pero hay adicciones que te pueden afectar en tu vida personal, en tu trabajo, puedes quedarte en la calle. Por ejemplo, las personas que tienen adicción al juego, a las personas que tienen adicción a un tipo de drogas que son dañinas, y también a las personas que tienen adicción al alcohol, se vuelven alcohólicas. Entonces, tenemos que tener esa honestidad con nosotros mismos para aceptar cuando uno tiene una adicción, y esa adicción te está arrastrando a una vida que no mereces tener. Esa vida te está arrastrando a una vida de martirio, a una vida de soledad, donde todo el mundo te da la espalda porque saben de que no vas a cambiar, pierden fe en ti porque la adicción es más fuerte que tú. Pero quiero que sepas de que existe la ayuda, existe personas y mecanismos que ya han sido probados en otras personas, que son efectivos para combatir las adicciones. So we know that there is a lot of other tools that other professionals have used, and other people have gone through to be able to either deal with your addiction reduce your addiction or get rid of your addiction. So what would be some of the tools that people use when they work for addiction that you know, like for drugs, where would they go if they have a drug addiction?
You know, it varies, and
Okay.
one of the examples, you know, a lot of people, due to also stigma, you know, they think that they might find it in low income communities.
Okay.
And
Yes.
some other times it could be at other areas, you know.
Yeah, people think that addicted people have to look in a certain way, and there is not such thing. What Grace, correct me if I'm wrong, you're trying to say that addiction carries a stigma, and then people already have a perceived sort of image of the person that is addicted. But it does not necessarily the case. There is a lot of people that are addicted to porn. There is a lot of people that are addicted to alcohol, and you will not know because they do it before work, or they sort of manage that addiction. So they call functional addicts. So there is many things. So you wouldn't necessarily know the person, but there is help for those people that are suffering from addiction. Sabemos muy bien que la adicción viene en muchas caras, y no hay un tipo o un estereotipo de personas que está adicta a algo. No, ya se me ocurrió algo que les voy a contar. Y también no existe un tipo de persona que dice, oh, esa persona está adicta. Hay muchas personas que tienen adicción y sí lo saben, pero es en secreto. Son personas que tienen adicciones y tienen control sobre, entre comillas, tienen control sobre cómo manejar y esconder su adicción, pero la adicción siempre la tienen allí. También, aunque no lo crean, hay muchas personas que son adictas a las relaciones abusivas. Eso es una adicción. Estar adicto a una persona que te maltrata, a una persona que no te aprecia. Tienes que preguntarte por qué, y es una pregunta que todo el mundo se la hace. ¿Por qué estoy con esta mujer y con este hombre si saben perfectamente que no me conviene, que no está bueno para mí, que me maltrata, no me da mi lugar, no me respeta, y allí estoy con esa persona? Entonces, esa es una adicción que va más atrás. Y en esos casos uno tiene que identificar el por qué tú estás adicto a ciertas cosas. Son adicciones, pero cada adicción viene por un motivo diferente, porque caíste allí. Entonces por eso se puede ramificar en diferentes tipos de adicciones. So we know that people get addicted to also bad relationships and abusive relationships. And then you have to answer, and then you have to also ask yourself, why am I addicted to this type of addictions, relationship, or anything else? And then every addiction there is has a root problem. And that's why every addiction, it kind of like materializes in a different way from different people based on their own experience, whatever they're trying to compensate for. So lo que tú quieres compensar dentro de ti mismo es donde se va a reflejar, se va a aflorar ese tipo de adicción.
It's like the way that I see it, it's like a root stem. It's like when you see roots in a tree. You know, obviously that it starts like with a seed.
Right.
You know, anything that is like harvested, it starts with a seed. So that's the same thing that it could be with a substance, you know. And like you mentioned earlier, you know, some of the times a person who's depressed, a person that is facing anxiety, they rather, instead of taking medications, they go towards substance. It could be drugs, it could be alcohol, or any other kind of addiction, instead of taking that medication.
Or counseling.
Or counseling.
Not, yeah. So don't be afraid. There is not always it's not gonna be terrifying. Counseling and going through medicine can be also short term versus long term. So not necessarily gonna be on medicine all your life, or you may not be on medicine. Maybe activity, counseling, going back to school, getting a better job. So many things can help you get off depression or anxiety. Sabemos muy bien que no necesariamente para combatir la adicción tienes que tener medicamentos. también puedes ayudar tu adicción con consejería y también con un programa especializado para ti de ejercicio, un nuevo trabajo, actividades con tus amigos, muchas cosas. Por eso es importante que acudas a personas que saben. So what would be the thought of the day?
So it's kind of harsh, but
Okay.
it's really meaningful.
Okay.
Addiction.
We like harsh people because when you have an addiction, you need to be honest with yourself and you need to be harsh with yourself and no BS. You need to face it. That's the first step for somebody who's going through an addiction, is to admit they have an addiction. And from then on, there is hope. Sabemos muy bien de que lo primordial es que si tú tienes una adicción, tienes que aceptar que tienes esa adicción, identificarla y también buscar ayuda, porque no estás solo. Y muchas veces siendo franco y sincero es lo mejor que puedes hacer para ayudarte a ti mismo. Como lo que va a decir Gracie ahorita.
Addiction is a special kind of hell. It takes the soul out of the addict and breaks the hearts of everyone who loves them.
So it says the addiction is a special kind of hell. So yeah, you go through hell when you're addicted because it kind of like closes the doors for a lot of things. And it takes the soul of the addict and breaks the hearts of everyone who loves them. You know when you have an addiction that you love your family and that you love yourself, but you cannot help it. And I know it hurts to see your family cry over you, your mom, how your family gets destroyed, your friendships and everything because you have an addiction, and because it breaks your soul, and it also breaks the hearts of people around you. So as I was saying, you know, the best way is to admit that you need help, because everybody suffers, because what happens to you affects other people, not only in your family, but also in society overall. We are here co-sharing the world. And then if you're not a healthy functioning person, and you are suffering, then everybody suffers one way or another. So el tema, la enseñanza de hoy, o la moraleja de hoy, dice así, la voy a traducir. La adicción es un infierno especial, único. Agarra el alma de la persona adicta y quiebra los corazones de cualquier persona que los ama. Es muy cierto, porque viven en un infierno, viven en un caos emocionalmente, atrapa su conciencia, atrapa su alma, atrapa su vida entera. Pero no solo eso, quiebra los corazones de todas las personas que están alrededor de ellos y afecta a toda la sociedad en general. Entonces no están solos. Esto es un problema de todos, es un problema para un mundo mejor, es un problema para una sociedad mejor, es un problema para lidiar y llegar a la familia ideal, a una familia saludable y definitivamente para una persona mejor, tú mismo. Salir de ese infierno donde tiene tu alma atrapada por la adicción y todo el mundo a tu alrededor sufre. Entonces busca ayuda. Si conocen a alguien, ayúdenlo, porque hay salida de ese infierno. Existe el paraíso. There is a paradise for you. But you gotta look for help. You're not alone. Don't give up. So thank you so much. Thank you, Gracie, for
Y
being
gracias
here.
a todos. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Okay, so I wanna thank you, Gracie.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for watching us today, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you very much.